I have to figure out how to rotate this really quick. Okay, cool. All right. So, I miss all your faces, first of all. And we are going to do some drawings of Nim's Island characters in case you don't have the flat characters and you want to play with the scavenger hunt thing, or even if you just want to draw along because they're pretty cool. I'm going to start with Chica the turtle because second graders were drawing turtles, so they should be pretty good at this. So if you have a second grader brother or sister at home, you can ask them for some help. And turtles are one of my favorites, so we're going to go with sea turtles first. Um, I did print out a picture, but I only have black and white ink in my in my printer, and it's kind of dried up. So this is what I'm working with. But if you look at a sea turtle, sea turtles, first of all, they kind of have more of like a flat back compared to a tortoise, where they kind of have more of a hump, and that's because they want the water to be able to flow over them. So if I think about my art elements, I kind of have just a really simple, it's not a perfectly straight line, but it's kind of like a little bit of a curve. And then this bottom part of the shell is kind of making a smile. So it's kind of making like almost like an eyeball shape or an almond or like a football that got missing some air on the other side. So on my paper, and I'm drawing with pen just because it'll be easier for you all to see. But if you want to use pencil, that might be a good way to, fix mistakes if you make them, or just go for it. Use crayons, use markers, something that you don't have to erase, and go for it. So I'm drawing not a perfectly straight line, but just kind of like a little bit of a curve. And then this one underneath, it's going to be a little bit more of a smile kind of line. And those lines are our element of line comes together to make the art element of shape. Now from here, the flippers on my turtle, it's kind of reminds me of like a McDonald's like arch, like half of it, or it's kind of like an upside down J, or if I think about it, kind of making an oval that hangs off the edge of my eyeball shell shape, I could do that too and just kind of draw half of it. So that's what I'm going to go with. So I'm going to kind of start here and do something like that. Now, a turtle's flippers kind of have more of like a little bit of a point to them, and then they come up into like this armpit area. So I'm going to come up, do something like that. And then the back flippers are just like a little bit smaller. It's almost kind of like the half of a leaf, where it's kind of like the shape of this shell repeating again. Now I know that my turtle has flippers on the other side, but in this picture, I don't see them, so I don't have to draw them. But if you find a picture of a turtle and you see like the flippers on the other side, you can go ahead and draw them too. Now for my turtle Chica's head, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna kind of make like that end of the nose. So I'm gonna come out from my shell and come down like that. And then I always notice that turtles, like their mouths are really kind of cool. So it kind of looks like they have like a frown and then a smile. So it's kind of like a stretched out letter S that gets stretched. So right from this tip here, I'm going to make a frown and then I'm going to make a smile. And then above that, I'm going to put my little eye. And then from here, I want to make the bottom part of my turtle's neck. So I'm going to go from here and just come over like that. Now, tortoises on land, they can tuck their flippers and their heads in and use their shells to protect them, but sea turtles can't. I just thought that was kind of interesting. So we've used our shapes and we've used our lines to create our chica or our turtles. But one other art element that I notice a lot when I look at sea turtles is the textures that you see. And they all have um, like these kind of like weathered looking spots on them. It kind of looks almost like leopard patterns, cheetahs. And that's kind of like that bumpy, rough texture. If you've heard the texture song, I hope you teach it to your parents. Texture, texture, texture. You know, it's cool. And then something else that's really cool about turtles, the marks on their shells are kind of like how people have fingerprints. So we all have fingerprints and they're all unique just to us. And like nobody in the entire world will have the exact same fingerprint as you. And the same thing with sea turtles. So the patterns that they have on their shells are special to each turtle, and no other turtle has that pattern. And so when I draw this pattern, I'm just kind of thinking about leaving like a little bit of like Oreo icing in between each of these shapes. And then I always notice how they kind of have like this like edge that goes along their shell. I really don't know why that's there, but I think it's cool. So you can keep watching if you want. I'm going to finish up my little Chica, or you can fast forward and see how it turns out, or, just stop watching here and go on your own. Can't wait to see what you make, and maybe you'll hang it in your window. Maybe you'll draw a background. Maybe you'll write your own story. But I hope you have fun with it. Ooh, one more thing. So if the art elements are like the ingredients in our art recipe, the principles of design are like the sugar and spices, right? So what principle of design, I think I said principle of design, elements of art are like ingredients in our art projects, and principles of design are like sugar and spices. If I didn't say that, that's what I meant to say. Anyway, those are the things that you choose to add to your project. So if you had to think about what principle of design I'm adding to my turtle as I add these textures and designs, what do you think it is? Do, 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 do. If you're saying pattern, then bingo, you got it right. And I'm just finishing mine in black and white, but you could add color with whatever you have at home. And voila, we have a Chica.